Hello everyone, this is Holiday Spirit, and today I'm going to be remaking one of the original videos on this channel. It certainly isn't one of the oldest, but it's pretty old compared to how many videos I've uploaded between its upload date and this time. So, I'm going to be remaking my Raver collection video, which I made back in 2020. So, as you can see, the collection has grown quite a lot since that original video came out. And yeah, I mean, in the original video, the only ones I had were this skeleton which sings Hey Baby, this one which sings Club Can't Handle Me, which is the Green Bones, the Frankenstein which also sings Hey Baby, Top Hat Ghost which sings Way I Are, and the zombie which sings While We're Young by One Direction. But all these other ones, I mean, I think I uploaded a video of this crazy Frankenstein. Yeah, I did. Sometime, I think 2 years ago now, I believe. But he was never in a collection video, and then none of these other ones have been shown in any collection videos or even regular videos yet. So yeah, I haven't been uploading for a while. I've been really busy with school, but school is finally coming to a close, so here we are. This is going to be the big return video, and then there will be regular style demos of singular items and animatronics and whatnot. And trust me, there is a lot of stuff coming, because I have been buying a lot of stuff still. Just because I haven't been uploading doesn't mean I'm, done with Halloween and or Christmas, so uploads will be happening still. But we're going to start with this as the main video, and then every day I'll upload a new video, because I've already filmed a bunch, actually. And, so yeah, let's get started with this. So this is the Hey Baby white bone skeleton. I don't know why I keep calling them the white bones, because it was only made in the white bones, but still. So this was the first Raver I ever got back at Lowe's in 2012, I think they had this one. Yeah, this was the 2012 model at Lowe's. So I'll play them, but you've already seen them in, the old video. But I'm still going to play all of them. So yeah, here we go. So yeah, that's the Hey Baby skeleton. So I'm gonna play I'll talk like for a second, then I'll play the demo, and then I'm gonna do a review of each, a little review of each of them. So I can honestly say that, from the whole series, Ravers, Groovin, Ghoulies, whatever, this one is still my favorite. It's definitely for nostalgic reasons, because, again, this was the first one. This is the one I remember liking the most. But this is still my favorite. The song on it is perfect for this kind of character. The animation is great. The price points for these when they first came out was astonishing, honestly, since they came with the base and, the hard plastic button instead of like what you get on the plush characters, or just inside of their hand or on their foot or something. And, full solid base with LEDs, and all that. So these are still amazing items, even to this day. And this one is definitely my favorite of the bunch. There are others that are better than this one, but they're not, I don't like them as much as this one. But, some characters are a lot cool. I mean, it's just a skeleton, but he still holds a lot of nostalgia for me. So this one is my favorite. Now we're going to be moving on to his brother, who sings the exact same song and is quite literally the exact same item, except for the character skin. So obviously, they just, when they were making this, they just attached a Frankenstein head, green hands, and this coat. Well, they also have the shoes on it, but still. So yeah, I will play him now, even though it is the same song. It's just, this one is lower pitched than this one. So yeah, that was the Hey Baby Frankenstein, and honestly, it is still crazy to me how well these two original models work. I've never repaired them once. I've never had to open them. I've repaired a bunch of these, actually, giving them new gears and whatnot, but these two I've never done. The Groovin Ghoulies are easily one of Gemmy's highest quality items, because they never have split gears almost. So yeah, it's really cool that they still work after all this time, and I hope they keep working for many years to come. So we're going to move over to this one now, and then we'll go back there, do those two, and then we'll keep going like this. So this is the Crazy Frankenstein. I've already done a demo of him on this channel, but I'm still going to do him anyway. Not much to say about him. Song is pretty cool because Pitbull himself is pretty cool, and his music is pretty good. Same sort of ideal as this one. I like them just the same because they're exactly the same item. So yeah, I'll just play him. I'm actually going to move to the skeleton after I play the demo because I don't really have a lot to say about this one. He's cool. So I do have actually one thing to say. I was thinking about it while the demo was going on. I actually think that this song, you know, I'm split on it because on one hand, I feel like it would have fit the skeleton better since the skeleton is like more like the Pitbull-like character to me. But as I was thinking about it, I realized that it actually makes sense because Frankenstein is known to be like a, quote, crazy monster. So while it would have been nice if they released a skeleton one that's saying this, at the same time, the Frankenstein one does make sense. It's not, like, completely ludicrous for him to have a Frankenstein sing this song instead of the skeleton. Just would have been nice to have both, like, with the Hey Babies. So now, the green one, I don't think he's going to hit anything. The problem with the green one, and not that it's a, like, you know, it's not an issue with it or anything, like a critique. It's not a critique. It's just, when this one swings its arms, for some reason, it's, like, way wider than all my other Grave Ravers. Like, when this thing swings its arms, it's like, you need to have, like, things, like, definitely a good distance from it so it doesn't hit him and then, you know, obviously break the gears inside. So, I think if it, like, this, it'll be enough. So, yeah, this is one I picked up in 2020 for under $100, which is my rule for Grave Ravers. They have to be under 100, which is still way too much, but some of the rare ones, I mean, unless you just honestly get someone who doesn't know, if you really want one of the ultra rare ones, like the Devil Kid or the Pumpkin Kid from Target from 2009, you're just going to have to pay a little bit more. But I would never pay over 100 for one of these. So yeah, this one is really cool. I definitely like the change in the bone color, and I do plan on getting the orange one someday. But again, not spending 500 on that one. So yeah, like I said, it's one of those things Club can't handle me. And this is this skeleton's eyes light up, but the Groovin Ghoulies ones do not. Grave Raver skeletons do have light up eyes. So yeah, here we go. Also, this one moves really fast. I just put brand new batteries in him the other day. So yeah, as you saw, this one has very, very crazy movements. This and the Crazy Frankenstein move really, really fast for some reason, like ludicrously fast, which I'm not complaining because I like when they move fast. The only thing I'm worried is that the fast movement is going to lead to them breaking sooner, but, you know, they should be fine. So now, here is one that has never been shown on this channel, and this is a Living La Vida Loca skeleton. I'm just moving the mummy over in a second. Okay, there we go. So yeah, don't mind the mess, by the way. This is a Living La Vida Loca skeleton, which I picked up on a Facebook Marketplace find because this lady was selling a ton of her sister-in-law's Halloween stuff. Halloween and Christmas, actually. I got a lot of stuff out of there for really good prices. Like, I got this basically brand new Edwardian Butler for, like, under $100 with the original Jemmy box and the original shipping box. It came with the tray, the hand, and it was fully working. Only thing I had to do was replace the headgear because it was a little loud. I also got this little guy who you will see a demo of, this little Christmas frog, and my only frog. So, this was one of those things, though, this guy. I noticed him right away, and I started freaking out when I saw him because, obviously, as you can tell, I, you know, sort of like Grave Ravers. So, yeah, anyway, though, when I got him, this one's arms did not move because, of course, they didn't. That's the most common broken feature on these, and this was probably used a lot when it was purchased, so that makes sense. I'm just going to move the Frankenstein out of the way so it's clear to see him. So I went inside, I fixed him up, and he works perfectly. Body turn, needed no repairs. So this is the first Grave Raver ever made. This one, the Groove line skeleton, and then this guy. These were the original. Well, I don't have them, obviously. I'm planning on getting the Groove line one day. But these were the original 3. And you can tell by the yellow buttons, which makes them like OGs. So yeah, I am going to do the demo of him now. So yeah, that is Living La Vida Loca. I actually forgot how quiet this one is. I mean, I never even, like, applied extra grease or anything because I didn't have it at the time. I forgot how quiet this one is, which is really nice because, you know, I don't like when they're loud because then it just, you know, you like to hear them quiet. So, you know, I'm definitely am happy that the repair on it came out so well. And, you know, I thought I had something else to say about him, but I don't believe I do. Oh, there is something cool, actually. Because these are the same ones as the Zoltans, their mouths actually are spring-loaded and they move. So if you could get a motor in here and somehow, like, get, like, a custom circuit board, you could actually have him sing along to the song. Like, Living La Vida Loca. You know. But none of the other ones are like that. They're molded plastic. So if you try to do that, you're going to snap it in half. Where these yellow button skeletons, mouths can actually move, which is awesome. Because they're spring-loaded, so the mouth will go back. Just like how it is in the Zoltan. Because these actually are the same skulls that Zoltan had for his crystal ball. Which is really cool. So now I'm going to put the Frankenstein and the mummy back. So this is a Thriller mummy. Obviously, this is a Groovin Ghoulie. That's a Grave Raver one. If you're wondering why the shades, I had them from some other animatronic that I wasn't able to repair, and I scrapped them. So I went with these glasses on because they look cool. And they also were... This is actually one of the only items I had that that the glasses fit on. And they just looked so funny, I decided to keep them. So, I don't remember when I picked this one up. I'm going to say probably 2021 or 22 sometime. If it was 22, it was early 22. Because I've had this one for a while now. So yeah, there's not much to say. I'm just going to do the demo on them. So yeah, there he is. And this one definitely could stand to have, I don't know, either the belt or the gear replaced. But I'm not going to do it right now. But he definitely is going to need it some. But I'm going to wait for him to outright stop moving before I do it. But yeah, he still moves pretty good despite that. You know, which is cool. It's always nice when these are fully working. So that's all I have to say about him. Obviously, great songs. Thriller and Somebody's Watching Me are definitely my favorite Grave Raver songs. So, moving on to another Thriller item, we have the Grave Raver Mummy, who obviously moves differently than this one. So, it's actually funny because, like, the Grave Ravers and the Groovin Ghoulies don't look that different, but when you compare the mummies, they're totally different. Like, the skeletons are, like, nearly the same height, but the mummies are totally different. Like, you can see how much shorter and even smaller the Grave Raver Mummy is, but, you know, it's a little funny thing about him. I definitely got the Grave Raver Mummy after the fact. What I was actually... Okay, so I'm going to have to go over to this one for a second, but I'll obviously do it in order. So I originally bought this one because I had this one, so I didn't need another Thriller Mummy. So I was going to take the base of this one and use it for this guy, because if you remember my original video, this one his base was cracking, then the speaker blew out, then the base completely fell apart and fell into a billion little brittle pieces. So this one was out of commission for a long time, even though he looks the same as he did back in 2020. He was broken for a while, but I didn't obviously never ended up using this guy because I ended up liking him so much. I didn't want to do anything to him. Plus, I never had a Raver mummy. I only had the Groovin Ghoulie, so I'm like, yeah, I'll keep him. And then I'll get to the story of how this one is back in its, original state again. But in the meantime, let's do the demo of this one. I have to move him. For this one, I did have to replace the gear, and I believe the belt, but I definitely had to replace the gear, because this thing's motor was so loud. As you heard now, it was actually really quiet. It may have been louder on camera, but in person, it's really quiet. It's actually about as quiet as the Living La Vida Loca one, where when I originally got him, it was ridiculously loud. He had, like, the loudest arm mechanism I think I've ever heard on one of these. So I repaired him pretty recently, actually, probably like a month or two ago. So yeah, he is now really quiet. So now I'm going to move him out of the way and make room for the zombie. Which is funny, I call him the zombie, but there's two zombies. I should say the original zombie, I guess. The original zombie, and then, well, I guess I'll call the One Direction zombie. So yeah, this is the, like I said earlier, this is one of the original three. It plays Way I Are, just like these ones, all three of these do. So, just to save time, I'm not going to play the song on the Ghosts, because it is the same song. It is the exact same song. I'll just actually review them all in one bunch. I'll play the song for this one. So, I'm going to say on the zombie, I definitely think the zombie is one of the most unique looking Grave Ravers, along with the devil and the pumpkin and the devil kid from Target. Like, this was not a design they used a whole lot, so it made it, like, that much more, special, where they used the hell out of the skeletons, the Frankensteins, the witches, and the ghosts. But this character, I think they used once, and that was it. And this was the only model they used it on, which makes them extra special. Also, if I'm wrong, let me know, but I think this face was used on a different item, but not this exact face. Like, it was upscaled, and it may have been rubber, where this one's obviously plastic. But I think I've seen that face on another Gemmy product before. So, yeah. Moving over to the top hat goes, not much has changed for him since 2020. I think I did repair the arm and belt at one point, because they were... So, one thing you should know about Grave Ravers, if their arms are about to split, but like they haven't split yet, the trick is to lightly put your finger on the top of their head. If it stops moving, that means it's splitting. If it keeps moving, that means it's probably going to last you a while. So when I did to this one, he outright stopped moving, so I fixed him up, and he's perfect now. In his original demo, I think he was pretty loud too, so he definitely was going to need that repair at some point. And then for this goes, he fully works. He came fully working. Only issue with him is the light bulb in the head burnt out, which I have not found a suitable replacement for yet. I tried a red bulb from another Gemmy item. It did not work. It was on for a second, and then it actually burnt out the bulb. So I think it was too much power going to it. So what I've considered doing is taking the light from this one and putting it in him, because you can barely even see the light with this one because of the hat. Like, you can kind of tell, but it's so faint, it really won't even make a difference without the light. I'll find, like, the actual light somewhere, but we'll have to see about that. But yeah, this one does fully move and all. I'll actually play the two goes for like a split second just so you can see the animation, but I'm going to play this one for the song. So yeah, here we go. So when I bought this one, it actually was previously repaired, which is why it works so well. It was repaired by, I'm assuming a haunter. I'm assuming a haunter sold me this one. This was a while ago, though. I've had this one forever now, it feels like. So yeah, now I'm going to show you the movement for the ghost and the top hat. Ghost isn't the fastest, but I think it's batteries, because he's moving slow in the body and the side to side. So I'm thinking this one's low on batteries, but I don't remember. And here is Top Hat. We'll put regular Ghost back here and try to do Top Hat. And as you can see, when I do this, it keeps moving still. So yeah, I actually ended up playing the whole song because I honestly forgot how short it was on, I forgot how short the song was just in general. Some of these Grave Ravers, the song feels like it goes on like forever, but Way IR is really short, honestly. So yeah, these three, honestly, I don't have a complaint with any of these. I think they're all really cool. Even this one, which I know is a controversial opinion, but I even like this one, as goofy as it is. So now we have the zombie, which the zombie is definitely going to be the most interesting story-wise, since the other one's just like, you know, oh, I got it, it works, or I had to fix it. This one is definitely the most interesting. So this is one I got originally back in, I'm going to move him over here just for different scene. We'll put him on here. This is one I originally got back in 2013 at Lowe's, a year after the Skeleton and the Frankenstein. And this one lasted me like forever, but then one year I noticed his base was starting to crack and he was falling into it. So as you saw in my original video, I tried to use like crazy glue or something. I don't know what I used to try to hold it together. But to be fair to my younger self, I don't really know what else I could have used that would have worked better. It was just, it just needed a new base. It wasn't like no amount of glue was going to fix it and make it right. It just had a, you know, it was broken, unfixably broken, and needed a new base. So, you know, but in that video, he still worked as you saw. And then I guess like a year later, I pulled him out and the speaker sounded horrible, like atrocious, like the worst I've ever heard one of these speakers sound. And it wasn't a board issue, it was just the speaker itself sounded like total ass, honestly. So then I tried to fix it. I tried to see what was wrong with it, and the speaker just was even worse. So then I removed the speaker and threw it away because of how god-awful it sounded. So then this one just sat limbo for a long time because I was trying to find a Grave Raver that was, or Groovin Ghoulie, because Grave Ravers have that shiny plastic base and the Groovin Ghoulies have like the matte black base, which I wanted that instead because, well, it's what it originally used. So like I said, I bought this mummy, was going to use him, didn't want to use him, changed my mind. So he was still just in parts. Like, I never took the torso apart, but the shoes had all the screws in it. The other base felt broken to like a million pieces, and I kept the bottom with the circuit board and the batteries. That's all fine. Obviously, try-me wires, try-me buttons, everything else was fine. It was just the speaker and the top base I needed. So then I was on eBay very recently, like probably like a month or two ago, and I found a Hey Baby skeleton, which actually ended up being the exact model from Lowe's. It was really cheap, and I'm like, I'm going to use them for parts for this because I really wanted this going again. And now, before I hear any comments like, oh, you bought a perfectly working Grave Raver to destroy him, that actually wasn't what I was going to do. What I was going to do is actually use my original Hey Baby, because the one I had actually worked better than my original Hey Baby. So I was going to keep the new one and use this one for the base, but then a wire popped off, which I didn't realize until I opened them up for the new one, so I decided to use the new one's base and the speaker, and then I kept my original Hey Baby as is. So, as I was working on him, the plastic for the shoes kept breaking, so I actually used hot glue, which you can barely tell. If you're looking really close, you can, but like, from this angle, you honestly can't tell at all. You probably can see it now that I pointed it out, but it's so barely noticeable. It's not even like a real issue in my opinion. So I applied, obviously I put it back on the base, wired up the new speaker, and new speaker worked wonderfully. No issues at all with the speaker. He sounds great, just like he used to back in 2013. So I guess it was just a bad speaker, which is not really common for Gemmy items. If anything, it's usually like it's either the motor or the square shaft gear that breaks on Gemmies. It's usually not the speaker. That's actually one of Gemmy's better qualities is their speakers, but yeah, no, with that all being said, here he is. I mean, He's perfect now. The bass has no cracks. It's not even weak. It's like very solid plastic. So now it is time for the demo of him. This is still one of my favorites, even though, as I said in my original collection video, the song choice is definitely strange on it. But I've gotten used to it over the years, and I actually really like it now. Because I'm just, maybe just because I'm used to it, or maybe because I actually do like the song. But yeah, here we go. So yeah, there he is. And honestly, just watching that demo just now as I was filming it is so utterly surreal to me because of how long this thing was out of service. So seeing it standing up again with the shoes on a bass with the speaker working is so surreal. It's like I went back into a time machine and just grabbed my old one back in 2013. It is truly amazing how perfectly he looks once again, which is awesome. So yeah, I love this one to death. Just like all the rest, but obviously my original Lowe's ones, the 3 from Lowe's, definitely hold the most special place in my heart. So now we have my newest one, which is actually this one, which I just got yesterday, actually. This is the, yeah, we're going to do different scenery again, because why not? So this is the Be Tamed Witch. This is not the very common, Gimme More Witch, which I say very common. It's not very common, but it's definitely more common than this one. This and the Wild Ones, but the Wild Ones regular witch, not the cartoony witch, is insanely rare. Like one of the rarest, not counting the ones from the UK. But yeah, this is definitely one of the rarest witches still. This Can't Be Tamed one. It's definitely not a common one. So when I first received it, it was moving really slow. So I put new batteries in, and it's moving really fast. Only problem is this arm is like kind of broken, so it doesn't move like the other arm, but it's really not noticeable. It still holds, which is really all that matters. It just, like, it kind of like spins in like a clock. Like, it doesn't like, when it's up in like the top position, it doesn't spin back down because of the weight. It just stays, but you'll see in the demo. But yeah, this one's really cool, honestly. I also like how this little witch got a reference in Bob's Burgers, which was really funny to see. So yeah, we're going to move the witch back over here, and we're going to do the demo. See, you can see how the hand's working. It's not like it's not the ideal situation, but it's a really cool item, and the hand isn't that big of a deal. Also, the song on this one's really short. I hadn't realized until I was just filming it. This one's about as short as Way I Are, where some of the other ones are really long. But yeah, this one is still really awesome. It's wonderful to finally have a regular witch, you know, because these ones are definitely really awesome. I definitely want to try to get the other witches someday, like the Wild Ones, and the Gimme More witches. So now we are on to our final Grave Raver. Here it is. What everyone likes to blame as the downfall of Grave Ravers. Again, we're going to go over here for just a different scenery, because why not? So this is the one that everyone likes to blame for the downfall of the Grave Ravers, which is not true. Yes, this item has flaws. One big flaw, actually. Actually, it is two. One is the fact that it's a plush character instead of being hard plastic. And number two is the fact that it's a gimmick item when the other Grave Ravers were not gimmick items. Yes, they used, quote, gimmicky songs, but they were not gimmick items. Where this one is purely based on a trend at the time, which was selfies. You know, the 2017 equivalency of this would be a dabbing Grave Raver, which would be the worst thing ever made, honestly. But this one, honestly, is not offensive in my opinion. Also, this is not the death of the Grave Ravers. That's just Jemmy being cheap. Don't blame this witch for it. Actually, I think the song on this is really fun, and it's an original song, which is definitely not something you see with Grave Ravers. So, I actually don't really hate this one at all. I actually like this one a lot. It's really different from the other Grave Ravers, which makes it stand out. And obviously, even though the selfie idea is really stupid, it having a light in the phone was an honestly great touch. you know, there's actually, they've had the lights in the eyes. They've never had a light in the arm before for a Grave Raver or Groovin Ghoulie, which makes this one really special and unique. And like I said, the song is honestly so goofy and silly that you just can't hate it, honestly. This is an item that's definitely really hard to, like, get angry over. Because it's honestly just so fun and just, it's almost like its own thing. It is still a Grave Raver. I mean, like, if this, it's just, it came out at the wrong time. That was the problem with this, is that it came out in 2015, which was the last year of Grave Ravers. For now, we don't know. Anything could change, but at that, you know, back in 2015, this was the last year, and everyone could kind of tell because no one sold Grave Ravers that year except for Walmart, who sold a Fireball skeleton, which was literally just reused parts with a different circuit board and this. That was it for the whole year. There were no witches, there were no Frankensteins, no ghosts, no zombies, nothing. All you had was a gimmick witch and a reskin skeleton. So it definitely didn't help. If more original Grave Ravers, like that prototype vampire that sings that Charlie Puth song, that would have made the witch not seem as bad in comparison. But the fact that a gimmick witch and a reskin skeleton came out in the final year, it kind of felt like a real like FU as well as like a nail in the coffin. Like wow, what a great goodbye. You get a gimmick witch and a reskin skeleton. Like no new items. And not even, I mean, Fireball was a new pop song at the time, but like this doesn't even sing a pop song. It sings a pop song, but it's a Jemmy version of it. Like it's not like just the original song outright. Well, the karaoke version with the, you know, with the lyrics, because that's what these sing. They don't sing the originals. They sing like Jemmy versions, or, you know, I guess like quote Jemmy version. They weren't really made for Jemmy. But for this one, it's a song that was like re-recorded by Jemmy entirely. So, like I said though, even though it's definitely a controversial item, I still really like it and I'm still glad to own it. So now we're actually going to push this switch back because this switch being crammed in the corner means she won't be able to move as much. So here is the final Grave Raver of the 2023 collection. And once the demo ends, the video will also end. So I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
It's Halloween, my favorite time of year. Getting decked out in all scary gear. Head to the door to get lots of candy. Quick, let me take a selfie. Selfie. Let me take a selfie. Here's sort up. It's been a good night. Lots of good treats and lots of good frights. Still looking good. Still looking a little scary. Quick, let me take a selfie. Selfie.